Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we uncover the hidden treasures of American coin collecting, the most valuable and expensive rare wheat pennies in United States history. At first glance, these coins may look like ordinary, but some are truly extraordinary rarities that have sold for hundreds, even thousands of dollars. So stay tuned as we take a closer look at the top 6 wheat pennies that every collector dreams of finding. First up, we're diving deep into one of the most sought-after pieces of American numismatics, the 1953 wheat penny struck with the Denver D mintmark. While at first glance it may seem like just another old penny, this coin has a hidden legacy of rarity, collector intrigue, and surprisingly high value, even when found in a very dirty or circulated condition. If you've ever wondered why a simple penny can be worth far more than face value, then this episode is for you. The 1953 D wheat penny was minted at the Denver Mint during a time when the United States was still riding the wave of post-World War II growth and prosperity. Millions of pennies were produced that year, with Denver accounting for a very large share of the mintage, making this coin one of the most common issues of its decade at first glance. However, as with many coins, the surface numbers don't tell the full story. The Denver Mint was known for producing coins with slightly stronger strikes compared to Philadelphia. But the huge volume of pennies created that year meant many were released into circulation almost immediately. As a result, very few were preserved in pristine condition, which adds to their present-day scarcity in top grades and explains why collectors keep a close eye on this issue. When it comes to design, the 1953 D wheat penny carries all the iconic hallmarks of the Lincoln Cent series. On the obverse, we see Victor David Brenner's classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, which had been in use since 1909. The year 1953 sits neatly below Lincoln's profile, with the D mint mark placed just beneath the date. On the reverse side, the wheat ears frame the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America, with E pluribus unum arching above. While the design itself is shared across decades, subtle details such as strike sharpness, luster, and preservation can make all the difference in separating a common piece from one that is truly valuable. In dirty or heavily circulated examples, many of these fine details become muted. But for seasoned collectors, even such worn coins hold significance. The scarcity in higher grades, such as mint state red examples, elevates this penny into the ranks of highly collectible wheat cents. Collectors place particular emphasis on the 1953 D because it represents both accessibility and challenge within the wheat penny series. On the one hand, circulated examples are still obtainable, making it a coin that newer collectors can pursue without breaking the bank. On the other, securing one in premium condition, especially with full red luster and minimal contact marks, can prove to be a formidable task. This dual nature gives the coin its unique place among enthusiasts. For many, owning a 1953 D wheat penny bridges the gap between common and scarce, making it both a stepping stone and a prize in the journey of assembling a complete wheat penny set. When it comes to actual value, the range is quite wide, depending on condition. A heavily circulated or very dirty 1953 D might only bring around 10 to 25 cents, still well above its face value. However, values climb quickly with quality. Examples in extremely fine condition can sell for $800 to $1,900, while those in about uncirculated grades may fetch $2,800 to $4,500. In mint state, the prices increase further, with brown examples starting around $5,500, red-brown examples ranging from $6,000 to $7,000, and full red coins commanding anywhere from $8,000 to over $9,000, depending on strike quality. This dramatic spread in value is what makes the 1953 D such a fascinating coin to study and collect. So, while the 1953 D wheat penny may not be the rarest coin ever minted, its combination of history, survival challenges, and collector demand ensures its lasting place in numismatic circles. From its humble origins at the Denver Mint to its current standing as a valuable piece of Americana, this penny reminds us that even the smallest coins can hold significant worth. Whether in dirty circulated condition or preserved with brilliant luster, it carries a story that collectors treasure. And as we wrap up this look at the 1953 D wheat penny, stay tuned because in our next video we'll be exploring another fascinating coin that continues to surprise collectors with its hidden value. You won't want to miss it. And secondly, we're diving deep into one of the most legendary and sought-after coins in all of American numismatics, the rare and valuable 1952 no mint mark wheat penny in a very dirty, low-grade condition. This isn't just a piece of change. It's a story of survival, a chapter of history, and for the lucky few who find one, a potential life-changing discovery hiding in plain sight. The 1952 no mint mark penny's immense value and collectability stem from a perfect storm of minting circumstances and public demand. While the Philadelphia Mint was the only facility producing cents that year without a mint mark, it was operating under enormous pressure to supply the nation with coinage. The focus was on sheer quantity, not quality control, leading to a year where well-struck, high-grade examples are exceptionally rare. Most coins entering circulation were immediately subjected to commerce, and the ones that survived are almost always found in heavily worn, damaged, or, as we're focusing on today, extremely dirty conditions. This creates a massive divide between the common worn-out 1952 pennies and the pristine, gem-quality specimens, making any example a subject of intense scrutiny and desire. The year 1952 was a pivotal time in America, caught between the Korean War and the burgeoning post-war economic boom. This societal tension was reflected at the Philadelphia Mint. The public's demand for coinage was insatiable, driving the mint to push its old, worn-out equipment to the absolute limit. Dies were used far beyond their intended lifespan to meet production quotas, resulting in coins that were often weakly struck, particularly on the high points of Lincoln's beard and the wheat ears on the reverse. This lack of sharpness in the striking process is a key diagnostic for authenticating a true 1952 Philadelphia issue and separates it from the sharper, more common examples produced that same year at the Denver and San Francisco mints. The design of the 1952 cent is the familiar Victor David Brenner motif that had been in use since 1909. The obverse features the profile of Abraham Lincoln, with the motto, "In God We Trust," arching above his head, the word liberty to the left, and the date 1952 to the right. On the reverse showcases the two iconic wheat stalks, framing the inscriptions 1 cent, United States of America, and the motto, E Pluribus Unum. On a very dirty example, all of these features will be heavily obscured by a thick, dark layer of grime, environmental damage, and surface crust. The unique features to look for are the complete absence of a mint mark below the date on the obverse, and the specific weakness of strike on Lincoln's cheek and the bow on her neck, a hallmark of the overused Philadelphia dies that year. When discussing the rarity of the 1952 no mint mark cent, condition is absolutely everything. While millions were struck, the vast majority were released into circulation and worn down to nothing. Coins in mint state grades, especially those with full red luster, are phenomenally rare and represent a tiny fraction of the original mintage. However, the coins in very dirty, low-grade conditions, like good or even fair, are also surprisingly rare in their own right. This is because a coin in this state has not only survived over 70 years of commerce, but has done so without being pulled from circulation by a collector or simply being spent into oblivion. Its dirt and grime tell the story of a long, hard life, and finding one that is genuinely a 1952 Philadelphia issue and not a more common 52D or 52S is a true numismatic challenge. Among the entire wheat penny series, which ran from 1909 to 1958, the 1952 Philadelphia issue stands out as a key date precisely because of its condition rarity. Collector demand for this coin is perpetually high, as it is one of the major stoppers for anyone attempting to complete a set of Lincoln wheat cents by year and mint mark. Series collectors need this coin to finish their albums, and high-end investors seek out the top-tier graded examples. This dual demand from two powerful segments of the collecting community ensures that the 1952 penny, in any condition, commands a significant premium. Its dirty, circulated state makes it accessible to a broader range of collectors who still want to own this key date, even if they can't afford a mint state example. The market value for a 1952 no mint mark wheat penny is a tale of two extremes, entirely dependent on its condition and surface preservation. A very dirty, low-grade example in, say, good 4 condition, where the date and legends are all readable but heavily worn and covered in dark abrasive grime, can still command a surprising price between $150 and $300 due to its status as a key date. If that same dirty coin has enough detail to be classified as very good or fine, the value can jump to the $400 to $600 range. For collectors on the hunt for this monumental coin, the strategy must be one of patience and educated searching. You will not find this coin in a bankroll. Your best chances are meticulously searching through certified coin dealer inventories, attending major coin shows, and monitoring reputable auction houses. Because of its value, this is a coin that is heavily counterfeited and altered, often by removing the mint mark from a 1952 D penny. So, the 1952 no mint mark wheat penny, even in its very dirtiest and most worn state, remains a titan of American numismatics. It is a tangible relic of a specific time and place in minting history, a coin born from overworked machinery and national necessity. Its rarity in any condition above well-worn, combined with its non-negotiable role in completing a Lincoln cent collection, secures its place as one of the most valuable and fascinating 20-cent pieces ever struck. It appeals to new collectors as a legendary Holy Grail find, and to seasoned veterans as a key portfolio asset, a coin whose story is literally etched into its dirty, worn, and incredibly valuable surface.
And thirdly, we're exploring the most valuable and rare. The 1955 Lincoln wheat penny with the Denver D mint mark is one of the more intriguing coins in mid-20th century United States coinage. While not as instantly recognizable as the 1955 Philadelphia double-die error penny, the Denver minted issue from the same year has established a place of importance in numismatics due to its history, accessibility, and occasional standout examples that command high prices. For collectors, the 1955 D penny represents both an essential part of the wheat cent series and a fascinating study in the relationship between condition, rarity, and value. Even when found in a very dirty or circulated state, it sparks interest because of its age, cultural associations, and potential to be worth far more if preserved or found in pristine condition. The historical context of the 1955 D wheat penny is rooted in a period of transition in American life. Minted at the Denver facility in Colorado, the coin was struck during the post-World War II boom when the United States was entering an era of prosperity. The Lincoln cent had already been in circulation since 1909, designed by Victor David Brenner to commemorate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. By 1955, the wheat penny had become deeply familiar to Americans, serving as a staple of everyday transactions. However, this year is remembered most for the famous Philadelphia double-die penny. That notoriety has, in a way, elevated interest in all 1955 pennies, including the Denver issues, because collectors often seek to complete year and mint sets, and Denver's mintage offers its own nuances worth examining. In terms of design, the 1955 D Lincoln wheat penny carries the classic look collectors have come to admire. The obverse features Abraham Lincoln in profile, facing right, with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and the year 1955 with the small D mint mark just below. The reverse displays the two wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, with E pluribus unum along the top. The coin was struck in 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, consistent with most wheat pennies after World War II. It measures 19 millimeters in diameter and weighs 3.11 grams. While the design itself was standard, its historical charm and copper composition contribute to its appeal, especially in a market where metal content and vintage design remain attractive. Rarity and condition play the most decisive roles in determining the true worth of the 1955 D penny. With over 563 million coins struck at the Denver Mint, it is not rare in the sense of absolute mintage numbers. Circulated examples are plentiful, which is why a dirty or heavily worn coin typically carries only modest value. However, uncirculated or mint state coins can be scarce, particularly those that have retained original luster and minimal contact marks. Higher-grade coins certified by reputable grading services are significantly rarer and can elevate the coin's status from common to highly desirable. Errors and unique die varieties within this issue can also raise rarity, creating sub-niches for collectors to pursue. When examining market value, most circulated 1955 D wheat pennies are worth between $1,200 and $2,500 even when dirty. The real jump in value occurs in uncirculated conditions. A coin graded MS-65 can sell in the $3,500 to $5,000 range, while those reaching MS-67 or higher have achieved sales over $9,000 at auction due to their exceptional preservation. Certain error varieties such as repunched mint marks can also fetch more, depending on collector demand. These values reflect broader numismatic trends where mid-20th century wheat cents, while generally common, still produce standout rarities that bring strong results in the marketplace. For collectors seeking to own or evaluate a 1955 D penny, attention to detail is crucial. Identifying well-struck examples with sharp detail, minimal wear, and attractive eye appeal is essential. Certification by grading services such as PCGS or NGC adds credibility and protects against counterfeits or misattributions. Even dirty coins can be worth submitting for authentication if they exhibit signs of rarity or unusually strong condition under the grime. Collectors should avoid harsh cleaning, as this damages the surface and lowers value. Proper storage in coin flips, holders, or albums preserves quality and can prevent environmental damage that reduces collectability. The appeal of the 1955 D wheat penny lies in its ability to bridge common circulation and numismatic significance. For new collectors, it offers an affordable entry point into wheat pennies, while still holding potential for future appreciation if found in high grades. For seasoned numismatists, it represents a year tied to one of the most famous coin errors in U.S. history, making the Denver issue an important complement in any comprehensive collection. Its blend of history, design, and market variability ensures continued relevance in coin collecting discussions. Beyond its individual value, the 1955 D wheat penny also illustrates the broader philosophy of coin collecting, where history, preservation, and rarity intersect to create lasting interest. Although it is not the rarest coin on its own, its connection to the legendary 1955 double die penny elevates its visibility and ensures it will always hold a special place in U.S. numismatics. For many collectors, owning a 1955 D is not just about filling a space in a coin album, but about holding a tangible link to a pivotal year in coinage history, when mistakes, mint marks, and mass production all combined to shape the stories collectors now treasure. In conclusion, the 1955 D Lincoln Wheat Penny is a coin that embodies both accessibility and hidden potential. While most examples remain inexpensive due to high mintage and circulation, the right condition or variety can transform it into a valuable piece. Its historical ties to mid-century America, classic wheat ear design, and role in completing sets give it lasting appeal. Whether worth a few cents in dirty condition or commanding four figures at auction in pristine states, the 1955 D penny is a reminder of how numismatics balances history, art, and the thrill of discovery. Collectors continue to prize it not only for its financial value, but for the story it tells as part of America's coinage heritage. And fourthly, we're going to explore the most valuable and ultra-rare United States. The 1950 wheat penny with the Denver D mint mark occupies a particularly intriguing and important place in American numismatics, representing a key scarcity in the otherwise common Lincoln cent series. While most coins from this era were produced in the billions and are easily acquired by collectors today, the 1950 D stands out as a notable exception due to its surprisingly low mintage, making it a perennial favorite and a cornerstone coin for any serious Lincoln cent enthusiast. Its appeal is not derived from a dramatic error or a pristine gem-like appearance, but rather from its genuine rarity in any condition, which drives significant market demand. This specific coin, hailing from the Denver Mint, is a classic key date, a term used to describe the scarcest issue within a series, and its pursuit is a rite of passage for collectors aiming to complete a full set of wheat pennies, ensuring its status is highly sought after to this day. The historical context of the 1950 wheat penny is set in the post-World War II economic landscape of the United States. The country was experiencing a boom, and the need for circulating coinage was high. However, the mint's focus was not evenly distributed across all denominations and mint marks in 1950. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 272 million cents, but the Denver Mint, for reasons not entirely documented but likely related to logistical planning and a sufficient existing supply of cents in circulation, struck a mere 334,300,000 pennies. While this number seems astronomical by today's standards, it was exceptionally low for the time, especially when compared to the 1.5 billion cents produced just a few years later. This low mintage, combined with decades of circulation and melting, has cemented its historical significance as the undisputed key date for the later years of the Wheat Reverse series. The coin's design is the familiar and beloved Victor David Brenner creation that had been in use since 1909. The obverse features the profile of President Abraham Lincoln, a dignified and enduring portrait that was the first to feature a historical figure on a U.S. circulating coin. Inscriptions include "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the year 1950. The reverse showcases two stylized wheat stalks encircling the denominations 1 cent and United States of America, along with the national motto, E pluribus unum. The mint mark D for Denver is located below the date on the obverse. The coin is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it its distinctive warm reddish-brown color when new, which ages to a deeper brown and eventually a dark, often dirty patina over time. Its size and weight are standard for the era at 19 millimeters in diameter. The paramount factor defining the 1950 wheat penny is its rarity relative to demand. With the lowest mintage of any regular issue wheat penny produced after 1933, it is genuinely scarce in all grades. In a very dirty condition, as described, the coin would be classified as well-worn, likely grading anywhere from good, G4, to very good, VG8. In such low grades, its rarity is somewhat mitigated, as more examples survived heavy circulation than were saved in mint state, but it remains a challenging coin to find. The dirty condition implies a buildup of grime, oxidation, and environmental damage that can obscure date and mint mark details, potentially hiding surface problems like corrosion or pitting, which can further negatively impact its value. Despite the wear, the simple fact that it is an identifiable 1950 penny gives it a fundamental numismatic premium that common dates from the same year lack entirely. Determining the market value for a very dirty 1950 wheat penny requires careful consideration. While a pristine, mint-state example can command prices well into the thousands of dollars, a heavily circulated and dirty specimen is far more accessible to the average collector. For a coin in good G4 condition, where the outline of Lincoln's head is clear, but most finer details are worn smooth and the surface is dark and dirty, the value typically ranges from $15 to $30. If the coin retains a bit more detail, grading perhaps very good, VG8, despite the dirt, the value could approach $35 to $50.
However, the dirty condition is a significant detractor. If the grime is accompanied by active corrosion, holes, or other damage, the value could plummet to near face value, as it would be considered a cull or damaged coin, valuable only as a placeholder until a better example is found. For collectors seeking to acquire this key date coin, caution and knowledge are paramount. When examining a very dirty specimen, the first task is to ensure the coin is authentic and that the D mint mark is not an added fabrication, a common fraud with key dates. The dirt can make this assessment difficult. It is often advisable to gently clean the coin only to the extent of verifying its authenticity, perhaps with a soft soak in pure acetone, but harsh cleaning or polishing must be absolutely avoided, as it will permanently scar the surface and destroy any remaining numismatic value. Purchasing from a reputable dealer or a certified coin from a grading service like PCGS or NGS, even in a low grade, is the safest strategy, as it guarantees authenticity and provides a professional assessment of its condition. For a raw, dirty coin, buying in person or from a trusted source with a return policy is essential. In summary, the 1950D wheat penny, in very dirty condition, is a coin of substantial historical and numismatic significance, representing the scarcest issue of its era. Its value lies not in its aesthetic appeal, which is compromised by wear and grime, but in its role as an essential component of the Lincoln Cent series. It offers collectors with a modest budget a tangible entry point into owning a genuine key date coin, a piece of American monetary history that tells a story of mid-century minting practices. While its investment potential in such a low grade is limited compared to pristine examples, its appeal to completists and history enthusiasts remains powerful, ensuring its place in the numismatic community for generations to come.
And at the end, we're going to explore the most valuable and rare United States. The 1946 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark has emerged as one of the most intriguing coins for collectors, not because of obvious rarity at first glance, but because of the cultural and symbolic role it has come to represent within American coinage. This penny, even when found in very dirty or heavily circulated condition, draws a level of interest that far exceeds that of other common wheat cents. To many, it is viewed as a hidden treasure, a coin that reminds collectors that sometimes the most unassuming pieces carry the richest stories. Unlike higher-profile rarities, the 1946 no mint mark penny represents accessibility, an artifact of history that could still emerge from circulation or a forgotten jar, yet it commands respect for its deeper significance and its place in the post-war era of U.S. currency. Historically, this coin holds weight because it was struck in the immediate aftermath of World War II, a period when the United States was redefining itself economically, socially, and globally. The year 1946 marked the transition from wartime coinage, which had involved composition changes due to metal shortages, back toward normal production practices. The Lincoln wheat cent, designed by Victor David Brenner, had already been a staple since 1909, but the 1946 issue represented stability and continuity after years of upheaval. While the United States Mint, not the Royal Mint, which is tied to British coinage, was responsible for this issue, its significance parallels global coinage practices where national mints played a role in shaping identity. For American collectors, the 1946 cent embodies the resilience of the nation and its economy during the bicentennial of independence planning period, even though it predates the actual 1976 celebrations by 3 decades. The design of the coin continues to resonate with collectors who admire its enduring artistry. On the obverse, the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln, created by Brenner, projects strength and solemn dignity, symbolizing unity and leadership. The reverse carries the classic wheat ears motif, framing the denomination and mottos that remind us of both agricultural prosperity and national ideals.
Struck in bronze with a composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, the coin weighs 3.11 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. These specifications reflect not only the consistency of U.S. coinage, but also the artistry and symbolism attached to even the smallest denominations, reminding collectors that craftsmanship was not reserved for silver or gold issues alone. Rarity becomes central when considering the 1946 no mintmark wheat penny. While millions were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, high-grade survivors are far scarcer than raw mintage numbers suggest. Circulation, environmental exposure, and heavy wear have left most examples in dirty, corroded, or low-grade states. For error specialists, certain striking anomalies, such as double dies or repunched mint marks in Denver and San Francisco issues, elevate the variety pool. But the plain Philadelphia issue has its own draw, due to its historical placement. Even when in very dirty or worn condition, the coin still commands collector attention because of the symbolic link to the transitional post-war period and the nostalgia associated with the wheat cent series, which ended in 1958. Market value reflects this blend of symbolism and scarcity. A typical dirty or heavily circulated 1946 no mintmark wheat penny might bring little more than face value or a small premium, often between $1,000 and $2,000. However, the real story lies in higher-grade certified examples, which can reach $3,000 to $4,000 in mint state, with exceptional red or red-brown specimens commanding $5,000 to $6,000 at auction. Error varieties, when attributed, can exceed $8,000 depending on severity and visibility. The collector market shows enthusiasm is not purely tied to intrinsic rarity, but to the enduring interest in wheat pennies as a category, where even modest issues have strong liquidity and cultural cachet. For collectors considering the 1946 penny, guidance revolves around education and discernment. Identifying genuine examples is straightforward due to the absence of a mint mark, but assessing condition, luster, and any anomalies requires careful study. Submitting high-quality examples to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can unlock market premiums as certified coins are more liquid and trusted. Even dirty or circulated pieces should be preserved properly, avoiding harsh cleaning that damages surfaces, since originality, even when unattractive, is often valued more than an altered coin. Building a wheat cent collection that includes the 1946 issue connects an individual collector to a broader narrative of mid-century American coinage. From an investment perspective, the 1946 wheat penny offers a unique appeal. While not a $1 million rarity, it carries a dependable collector base, steady demand, and room for appreciation in top grades or error forms. Investors who understand numismatic psychology know that cultural significance often sustains value as much as rarity. The 1946 penny, with its link to the post-war rebirth of the U.S., satisfies both emotional and financial motivations, offering an accessible entry point for new collectors, while also rewarding experienced numismatists with avenues for deeper research and specialization. Culturally, this coin also represents the enduring fascination with Lincoln, one of the most revered figures in American history. To own a 1946 wheat penny is not only to hold a small piece of copper, but to connect with a symbol of freedom, leadership, and resilience. The imagery of Lincoln paired with wheat ears is more than decorative. It reinforces themes of growth, strength, and unity during a time when the nation needed them most. Its presence in collections across the country demonstrates how coinage transcends commerce to become cultural heritage. Beyond its individual importance, the 1946 wheat penny also plays a bridging role in the broader story of U.S. small cent collecting. Positioned between the wartime steel cents of 1943 and the later transition toward the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959, it represents the stability and continuity of American coinage during an era of change. Collectors often view it as a transitional artifact, symbolizing the nation's movement from sacrifice and scarcity back to prosperity and normalcy. This contextual placement enhances its collectible appeal, as owning a 1946 penny ties a collection not only to a single year, but also to a broader narrative of resilience, innovation, and the cultural journey of U.S. coinage in the mid-century. In conclusion, the 1946 no-mint-mark wheat penny remains a cornerstone of mid-century numismatics. Its appeal is built on a blend of history, design, accessibility, and investment stability. Even when found in very dirty condition, it represents the possibility of uncovering history in everyday life, reminding collectors why the pursuit of coins is as much about the stories they tell as the prices they command. For both investors seeking long-term value and hobbyists cherishing cultural artifacts, this penny offers a rare convergence of meaning and potential. It may not boast the extreme rarity of legendary rarities, but it stands as a powerful symbol of America's resilience, continuity, and cultural memory, ensuring its place as a respected collectible for decades to come.